All right. I am here with my friend Anne McNamara, who I know from Sub 2 and Owners Club. And I asked Anne to come and join because I love her social media. She's consistent, it's fun, and you're doing it. And I'm not. I'm working on it. We're here, so I'm working on it. But I asked you if you would come and share for those of us like myself who we know we should do it. We know it's important. Maybe we don't even know why it's important yet, but everyone tells us it is, right? So we're like, oh, okay, I know I need to do it, but it's hard. It's hard to get started sometimes. And where do you start, and that sort of thing. So if you would just share with us, maybe to start, how did you even get going? What motivated you to get started? And then we can kind of go from there.
Right. Yeah, thank you for that. And just to start off, I got off Facebook for like 7 years. I was like, I ain't giving Mark Zuckerberg my
That's
privacy.
right.
I know. And I never bothered with Insta and LinkedIn. I would pay somebody to do. I hated it so much. And I just like I can't be, I had no apps on my phone. So it was a big move for me to get back into social, not so much because of the privacy stuff, because of the work. So
Yeah.
I was really resistant, really unsure. I didn't know what I was doing, didn't know why I was doing it. And I think so a couple of things. One was when I joined Owners Club and in the first immersion weekend that we had, when Pace really kept insisting about social media, for once in my life, I thought, I'm not going to analyze this. I'm just going to follow somebody else's formula for a change.
I
I
can relate to that.
Yeah, it's like I don't need to question it. I don't need to throw my tuppence worth in it. Let's just do what I have
Do
been
it.
just do what I've been advised for once. So I thought I would. But the real thing that made the difference was when I decided what my Mount Everest is. So when I decided I was going to focus on small town revitalization, that made it so simple because the content for that is ginormous.
Sure.
So small towns and buying creative and bits and pieces around the edge of that. When you sort of decide on your subject matter, you stop freaking about what have I got to offer the world? What am I going to say to anyone?
That's a really, really great point. And I think when we get involved in real estate, we were talking about this a little bit ago. There's a lot to do, a lot of different places. And you might start at one thing and do it for a while and realize this isn't my vision, this isn't my dream, and that's okay. And you might pivot, but once you find your sweet spot, it's like a no-brainer,
Yeah, and
because
I
you're
think
excited about it.
yeah, one big thing you really have to let go of is, oh, there's some big head teacher who's going to be tracking my messaging through the last 5 years and make me sit down and justify why I pivoted twice. Like number one, nobody
Solid point.
cared. You know,
Right. No one cares.
Nobody except maybe the IRS will ever do that.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, nobody's doing that. And number two, my other thing was, what if my former colleagues or my cousin-in-law or whoever is going to be watching it, the 19 people that I don't want to know what's going on in my life. I'm like, so I'm going to not express myself that will support my business because of 19
Yeah.
people I'm freaked out about. Like, get over yourself.
Again, amazing point you brought up. You're not alone. I talk to a lot of people, and it's true. I think especially when we get going, it's scary. People already think you're crazy that you've maybe left your W-2 or you're working, 20 hours a day because you've got this real estate scam you're working on, right? So it is, you're worried, your ego gets in the way, and you're worried that the 19 people are going to judge you. You got to let it go. Who cares?
Exactly.
One of the things I love about you is you're totally authentic. I had to get over myself. I was looking at other people who were, had, a very professional outfit on, their hair and makeup were done. And I was like, oh, that's not really me. And so it became a reason for me to say no, right?
Yeah.
Just always looking for a reason to say no. And so that was mine for a while. And I had to just get over it and go, Tracy, that's not you. Like, you're a hoodie kind of gal, right? Like
Yeah.
you're a hoodie and no makeup on a Friday kind of gal. And who cares? If you don't
Exactly.
like it, go find there's a million other people you can go follow. So thank you for bringing that up.
Something I really I've been doing lots of one-to-one support, as in Mount Everest support with people, and I've started this catchphrase, which is you you have to convince yourself before you can convince anybody else. It's been fascinating doing this because I can see people's instinct of saying, I want to do this. And then the brain gets over and says, oh, don't do that because it doesn't even have a language yet. And so, oh, well, I'll do something that everybody knows. The confirmed categories, I call it like wholesaling, fix and flip, um, single family home, buy and hold. Like
Yeah.
those have all been established. Wholesaling was invented at some point that somebody had to make up that
Yeah.
term. And
That's right.
so many owners are inventing new categories. And to do that, you have to say the same thing simply over and over and over again. And for the first
That's
year,
right.
for yourself. I am doing small town revitalization. Well, where I come from, the word revitalization is just not used. So I was like, I used to do urban regeneration. So it's like, am I even qualified to talk about small town revitalization? Have I defined what a small town is? Then you just go, fuck it. Just put it out there,
That's right.
and reinforce it and watch how the world goes. Oh, here's another thing you haven't thought about. It's
Yes.
fascinating.
Yep. I love that you're saying that. So important. Yep. It's interesting. You do how you said that, how you're saying it over and over in the early stages for yourself, to
Exactly.
tell yourself. And I know we all get this piece of, imposter syndrome. Like, I'm not really doing it, but I'm saying I'm doing it. But if you're going through the steps and the actions to get to that place, you have every right to say, this is what I'm doing, because you are. You're walking the walk and working the steps. So you are doing it and you're just building that muscle memory.
Exactly. And I know a lot of people's Mount Everest, they're going to be pioneers. Some of this
100%.
stuff I'm seeing is like there are probably 25 people in the US doing this, but they're hard to find. And these guys, it's I don't want to talk about other people's Mount Everest that haven't publicized them yet, but you're like,
Yeah,
they're going to make money by bringing together different stuff under an umbrella that has not been talked about very much before.
that's
And
right.
it is the minute they get it articulated, so many of us will go, oh, I need a bit of that. I wonder how I can engage with that. But until they articulate it, we can't
Yes.
do that.
Right. That's right. I think that's what's so lovely. We're so fortunate. If you're watching this and maybe you're not even sub two, or we're Owners Club is a little smaller subset of sub two that about 400 of us were very fortunate to be able to join. And there's even more support than sub two, which is almost impossible to believe because there's so much support and community there. But it is really interesting. Um, all the little pieces come together. And I think the articulating is really important. And I'm so grateful that I was able to ask about being a keynote speaker. I didn't think of that at that time. That was very selfishly just something I wanted to learn how to do for myself. But now I'm going, wow, thank goodness I asked, because now I'm seeing how important it is for everybody. You may not want to get up on a stage and speak, but you need to learn how to more eloquently talk your story, tell your story, and just express to people what you're doing, because it is new and it is many people, like you said, are just pioneers in these sort of
Uh,
subsets. So
yeah.
so tell us how, like, at what point did you, let's back up. You were talking about how you were not, you took the break from social media. Love it. I never had Facebook until now. Um, what was the shift that kind of kicked your butt in gear and you're like, I guess I got to do this? Because I think a lot of us are in that place, or were.
It was Pace Morby saying, you have got to be telling the world what you're doing. And 70% of the bones in my body going, but I don't want to, and 30% going, but I have to.
That's
And
right.
what I've been learning on the sort of sub-2 owners club thing is every activity that you do is only enhanced by social media. It is, 40 years ago, we would have had to have a PR agency, be meeting the social, what do they call it, the specialist press all the time, maybe get a book deal, and to get the sort of PR that we can get in, a week, we would have had to spend, 30,000-40,000 a year to
Right.
get basic stuff, put ourselves in for awards, all this kind in what categories, because I don't know, so random little things to just that you can have something else to talk about. And now we've got social media.
Right.
But my conclusion has been about social media is I want higher quality leads, and I want them cheap. And leads aren't just, here's a 3-2 in Austin. It's, oh, this person's interested in talking to you about funding or partnership or whatever. Those leads
Yes.
in, the difference between social media presence, no social media presence, you get high quality inbound leads. People approach you because they know what you stand
Right. That you need to like coin that phrase right there. They
for.
do. They know what you stand for and
Yeah,
they see your post and it resonates with them. And then they reach out to you. So you've got your inbound lead and they go, I want to work with you.
exactly. And because you're consistently saying the same thing, and if you think about it, how many times have you had to hear the same thing before you took action? So people aren't
Hmm.
getting bored of it. And what are Starbucks posting about? Coffee. Like we all know, but coffee and high carb things to eat with your coffee. You still need reminding to go to their coffee shops.
Totally.
So when we keep posting about our Mount Everest and what we're doing, and group homes or fundraising, whatever it is, we get known as, I want to be known as the small town revitalization woman. That's for the next few years, that's all I care about. So that will bring me interesting people.
That's right.
And so the minute I got my head around this, I recorded it, and I recorded didn't launch my YouTube channel, recorded my first little thing, and then I committed to doing like one every 2 weeks, a video every 2 weeks. Number one, I've really enjoyed it. So I do a video of traders in the small town that I'm in, Palatka, that I'm doing a scheme in, and I want to buy more deals in. So I do that video, which means I have a closer connection to the owner. I've had 2 people just from those videos alone talk to me about owner financing of their building. 2.
Right.
So I get deeper relationships. I have a film that shows that I'm committed to it. And then I can cross take snippets of those for other outside of YouTube. I can put it on Facebook, and I can promote it on. I could promote it on LinkedIn. I'm hesitating about LinkedIn because I have a different profile on LinkedIn, and then you can use it on Shorts on Insta. So
Right.
you get a lot of bang for your buck.
Can you share with us a little bit about your strategy? So you talked about when you started. I know that's different than now, probably. What was when you first started, what was your path and, how often, what was your strategy on posting? And then how has that shifted now?
So my strategy was to basically get over my fear and hesitancy, and the 19 people are going to point fingers and laugh at me. So I got to admit, I did block a couple of them before I started. I just make sure they were blocked.
And I love that. If you're listening, you can block the 19 people and move on.
I've got so ballsy about it now. I'm like, I feel like unblocking them. Just I'm like, yeah, come on. I mean, it's
That's
ridiculous.
right.
All in your head. I'm sure they aren't the slightest bit interested. But anyway, um, so I started on Facebook because I find that really easy. And with Facebook, what I do, the easiest thing I think you do is like you take a screenshot of now, you put it on your desktop, you don't think about it, Then when this conversation is over, you write something in the whole of your Facebook, not just in the two little sub two and owners club. You just put in great conversation. But, you know, we talk about the conversation, like getting my little plug for small town revitalization. Ideally sell something like, here's the affiliate, if you want to join sub two, here's the affiliate link. Or when I get my landing page done, here's my 2-day course that does all about small town revitalization. That's like 20 minutes screenshot, not talking about the main thing, talking about this conversation. Bang. You can do 2 of those a day and they really don't cause you much angst. They're not angsty creating.
Right. That's so smart. So right now I'm gonna do our screenshot, smile. And when we're done, I'm gonna take your advice. When we're done, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna go into my main Facebook profile. That's really smart. I hadn't thought about that. I often just go and post it in the sub two or maybe the Gator. This might sound silly, but I'm hoping that I'm not the only person with this question. I don't know this because I'm newer to Facebook. If I paste it on my main Facebook page, does it automatically show up in my groups or only people that are following me are going to see it? Is that right?
Yeah, it's only people are following you, but you can set your profile to public, but you can also cross post it into, I think it allows you 2 or 3 groups. So I always do the main
Okay.
one and then the 2 ones.
So cross post. Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
look into that.
Let me
Okay.
see if I can do it quickly.
I love that. There's a lot of little tricks. And I think too, as I'm getting going with my social media, I am definitely learning little tricks. I love to ask people like you all the time. I'm like, hey, what about this? How about that? Because the once we can get a rhythm and it becomes easier, like you said, it's like a no-brainer. And I realized too, setting the time aside is huge. We can talk about that in a minute, but yeah,
Yeah,
do you want to share with us or no? It's okay.
I'm scared of posting something that's going to be
Oh, right.
but let me see. Let me see if I can
Yeah.
get a complete hames of it. Um,
I love
let me see if I can do this test.
we are putting her on the spot.
Oh, drop my photos. Can you see, am I sharing
Yep.
screen? So I've
Yes.
done that and I should write something targeted. Then you add some sort of add something about you and then add affiliate link, which we have in sub 2 because we are
That's right.
supporting sub 2, and then you post. I don't want to do this. Where's the bit where it lets you, I don't want to do this. Then you do your you can tag all your people in there. That's always
Yes.
really good to that. And usually I'm too distracted. I've got too many getting my 15 minutes and this done. I forget half this stuff. But then if I post it, I'll have to unpost it.
You have to delete it, right? Thank you
Yeah.
for doing this for us.
Now it lets you cross post though. I'll have to find that because I've cross posted it
Okay.
like this. Yeah, or maybe you do it in the groups and it lets you cross post it there.
Oh, I see. Well, that's okay. I'm gonna Google it because that's what I do. When I don't know, I just Google it.
Exactly. Exactly. I find Facebook non-stressful. That's the easiest one.
Yeah, it is pretty simple to use, right? And you can also, I don't know, most people know this, but maybe if you're watching and you're, just getting going, um, you can post in one account, say Facebook, and it can automatically post in Instagram and vice versa. And that saves a lot of time too. I think a lot of times it's finding the time is the other piece. Do you
Yeah.
want to speak to that real quick? We talked a lot about that too, about um, blocking the time and there's a lot going on when you join or pardon me, get involved in real estate. There's a lot of little pieces that you might not think. And so what does that look like, right?
Yeah.
Curious.
So
Yeah.
I will I've just so I had a meltdown about how much I had on, and then I'll just see if I can show how I try and organize my life. My chunks of life are
I love this.
my marketing company, my 2-day event, my uh, raising finance, my learning development and supporting the community, my project, which is 912 St. John's, and then deal flow, the future deals. So it's kind of 6 chunks. And what I used to have as a chunk was profile raising. What I've now done is sort of it is a chunk, but it's the thing that crosses all those things. The more I do of that, the more it makes my 2-day event work, my finance raise work, my project solutions work, and my future deal flow. And so
Mhm.
is my learning and development. Like I was talking to somebody yesterday and I said, I've got this deal, blah, blah, blah. And she said, I'd be really interested in partnering with you on that deal. And I thought, and I would like to partner with you, as in you're one of the few people that as in I don't know enough people to be discerning, but here I was talking to somebody who's like, yeah, great, you know?
That's right. That's right. So it all really does tie in together.
Yeah. And then if we're going to be really kind of anal about it, which I am
Yep.
all for, I will just show you. Oh, I am screen sharing. Oh, I'm really sorry. I'm still screen
Oh
sharing.
no.
Uh,
Oh, I thought you were doing that on purpose.
Oh no, not Janie Max. I don't know what was there. Anyway, this is how I organize my my day at the moment. I've got finance deck
Yeah.
and marketing for the revitalize small towns thing, the finance outreach stuff. I'm doing a day of filming in Palatka, uh, another day of filming in Palatka, and that is a Palatka day where I'm not filming, so that's on my building and stuff. I can relax when I know I have a whole day to do stuff. I really struggle with, I mean, I do a lot of stuff early in the morning, but that's free time. I really struggle with
That's right.
trying to do a deck and then trying to do, my core stuff and then trying to, it's just like, I just do my head in, you know?
Yes, yeah. I can appreciate that. I'm similar with that. I really do like to have large chunks. I can dive in and feel like I'm not going to have distractions or get pulled away. And I think time blocking has been a challenge, but I'm getting much, much better. And the days that I stick to my time block, I'm way more successful. I've got just a whole, um, yeah, I get in, I dive in, I get so much more done. I'll get so much more done in a 3 hour chunk than I
Exactly.
would in a 6 hour day or a 10 hour day that had 6 hours of work in between things, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'd say if you're watching this and you don't time block yet, just try it out, give it a whirl and see if it works for you. It may
There,
not, but
there's an untime blocked week. It just looks like shit. It's just I got nothing
that's it.
achieved last week because I didn't own it, and everybody else owned my diary. I mean, there's loads of stuff in there's. I'm working on. Okay, I was flying for some of that, but it was just everybody else got in on my diary and everything else. These were full days. I don't know what I did. Certainly didn't achieve anything I wanted to. The only thing I did is today is going to be about which means now look, I have to work at the weekend because I I didn't control my week. So,
Yeah.
this week I have to work one day the weekend, but that's fun stuff, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I should do that. I'm going to share with you. Look, this is a non-time block week. I did, however, consciously want to do some one-on-ones because I am building up my social media vault, so to speak. I wanted to get quite a few one-on-ones recorded so that I could next week really get back to time blocking and do something with it because that is a problem. I will do a one-on-one and then I don't make the time to do anything with it. And then it
Yeah.
sits there and then it sometimes becomes irrelevant. But this is what this week looked like. As you can see, it's a shit show. And
Yes.
like you said, look at how many people really owned my week versus me, right? I did get my hair done, so that was fun. Uh, but but it's true. I think oh, can you see that? Was I am I sharing that? My calendar?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm sharing. Yeah, show me your unblocked, your unmanaged week.
Okay. Okay. Can you see that now?
No, try it again.
No, let's try again. Let's see. And if not, that's okay. You get the gist. Maybe I have to stop sharing. We'll see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See that? That's a good called a good time right there. No.
No.
So I'm
See,
getting
don't you feel stressed even looking at that?
it is, it's a nightmare. You look at that and you go, wow.
Oh,
I
um,
have gotten better about my mornings, and that has really shifted my mind to realizing that one, I can own my day.
yeah.
I can say no. And so I was starting my day. My business partner lives on the East Coast, and I was starting my day. I'm on the West Coast at 6 a.m. Like actually started my work day at 6 a.m. and
Yeah.
already feeling behind. I would wake up and I felt behind at 6 a.m. I'd get up at 5, and by 6, I'm like, oh my God, I'm already behind.
Yeah.
And then I'd have a day like that every single day. And I took a vacation, which I take vacations, but I don't usually stop working. This time I took a vacation and I didn't work. And I highly recommend that to people.
Yeah.
And I came back and I said, you know what? I'm done starting my day at 6 a.m. I'm going to start my day at 10 a.m. That doesn't mean I'm waking up at 9 o'clock. I'm still getting up early, but I was able to prioritize my time. I had time with my family. I had time for myself because, of course, when you're hitting the ground running and you're not making time by 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, I don't want to exercise. I don't want to take a walk. So I really said, nope, you are going to prioritize your time and started the time blocking. I did not do that this week. And like you said, it's Friday. I'm exhausted, thoroughly exhausted. I didn't do anything for myself.
No, I hear you. I hear you. It's if you don't control your diary, there's so many other things that will. And like, so somebody missed a one-to-one with me today and said, "Oh, could we do it next week?" And I just looked at it, and for the first time in a long time, said, "No, I can't because I have a course to get off the ground. I have funding to get. I mean, it's all time critical now.
Yes,
So it keeps me really focused. And I want to sort of bring on to like in the middle of I have to raise 365,000 for my building very quick. I've got contractors starting in about 2 weeks. And I've got a course that Pace is attending on the 3rd and 4th of December for small town revitalization. And I have not done any marketing for it yet. I've organized the course, but not organized the marketing. And I'm like, I am running out of time. But I am spending 2 days this week on social media. And why is that? Because I spent about 4 hours yesterday really thinking about the critical path, which things had to come. And social media can never really get taken off the critical path, not unless you have loads of people that can do stuff for you. If you're a
that's
one
right.
person band, prioritize your social media. So one day I will do one full day of filming with a videographer that I paid $300 a day for, and we will film in Palatka. I will try and get two shopkeepers and then random shorts about stuff that comes up. So I'll talk to two business owners, I should say. I'm trying to stick on the high street. So I'm very good at getting a one take role. So I don't really prep, which drives him mad, but I'll try and get I'm trying to get them down to like 7 to 15 minutes. And I just ask them questions. It's basically about making real estate work for high streets and what the town could do more for them. So I'll get two of those, and I will get some problem area like there's litter or there's empty things, and I will get a few more. I'd love to be able to send him off to do the editing. I can't because I'm not paying enough. I've got a videographer, not an editor. So I have to spend a day the next day or some time to get those. Then I pile up, we'll have 3 or 4 videos out of one day filming. That's a month's worth of stuff. I queue them up in YouTube. I run the video. through ChatGPT. I say, give me the summary and give me the thumbnail, and then I queue all that up in YouTube, and that's a month. So it's 2 days will give me a month's worth.
That's amazing. And I think people don't realize that if you utilize your time wisely, you can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have that. How often are you posting your YouTube? Can you share that with us?
Every week. Now, I was
Okay.
away in Europe for 6 weeks with my daughter's wedding and then a load of family commitments. So
Oh, fun.
it's gone quiet, but it like on a if I his name's Kyle. If myself and Kyle are on a roll, we can get more than a month's worth done in one day. Well, in one day's filming and one day of editing. And you just queue them up for automatic
Posting.
posting. Yeah.
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 Yeah. That's fantastic. And so you do your long form on YouTube and
Yeah.
then you're doing your short form. Are you just using Reels on Instagram? What are you finding most successful on Instagram?
Do you know, I don't really know what I'm doing on Instagram. So
I love that. I love it.
but I'm going to show you what I have. Which desktop is this? It's this one. Sorry.
No,
I'll
you're
show
great.
you where I don't know what I'm doing. You can see this YouTube channel now, yeah?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's YouTube, and these are long form. Now, the long form they're filmed horizontally, and the others are filmed vertically. So all these are my instas that come into here. But how I do Insta is through this. I have an agency, which I know Pay says don't, but I'm like, I'll just show you how it works. It's really simple. I tell them what I want to talk about. They give me 15 shorts. I spend one day again with the same videographer, and I do these. Now, some of them I always fix the content, but they do the research. They see what's working, and then they do different, like these are the talking head things. These are the different stuff. And if I was when I have so I've got 3 months, I filmed 1 month, that's 15 a month. So that's 30, 45. When I get to about 100, I'm going to stop and think. The moment I just want to be obedient and do some stuff. Then I'll
Yeah.
start using, I just call that the brawn. I'll just do the brawn work. Then I'll start doing the brain work, which is, why am I doing this? What's it about? I'll do the thinking afterwards. It costs me $1,400 a month to have all this done. They do the scripts and captions. I do the filming. I give them the raw film. They put them up. Like I just
Fantastic.
10 minutes trying to do a reel. I'm like, I can't be bothered. It makes my stomach crunch. This small little things you have to do,
Yeah.
But what I
Well,
will
there is
tell
a
you,
lot.
there is, and I'd
Yeah.
rather do the fun stuff like, oh look, I've just seen this. I know what I'm doing. Just do one little thing. I love the way Payson
Right.
do here's something about Corbin. I'm like, I'm not there yet, but I will get there after I have 100 of these that are doing the rounds, and I can start doing some analysis on them.
That's right. Right. I love that. And I think I love how you were saying you do what one Zoom a week, is that right?
Uh,
I
uh,
mean one
one
not Zoom,
YouTube,
pardon me, one YouTube post,
on
right.
YouTube, one
Yeah.
YouTube of filming Palatka because it's expensive, as in it's expensive in time and all the rest. But I'm
Yeah.
actually thinking the way you're doing this now, we could. I would like to get more intentional about a film Zoom as my YouTube.
Right. Yeah. So, the funny thing is I don't really know the difference between this and a podcast, right? But
Yeah,
but for me, I like this. This is feels comfortable to me, right? It's informal. It's like you and I are just chit-chatting, but we are conscious and mindful that we have an audience and our goal is to bring value to them. But it feels good, it's fun, and then I love to share this with other people because it's not officially Tracy's anything. And so when we're done, I love to share it with you and then you do whatever you want with it. And we're hitting two different markets and platforms. And I'll give you a great example. Dustin Gorofsky, wonderful guy. And he interviewed me. He does have more of a podcast. But just by him he posted it in his LinkedIn with an article. And a realtor reached out to him and said, "Oh, I read this one article, really love it." They started talking about his articles. She dove in and read all of his articles. She reaches out and says, "Hey, you did this one, recording with this Tracy Coa gal, and she's interested in co-living. And hey, I've got this property that might work out really well for her." Next thing I know, I'm talking to this realtor that I would have never met had it not been for his platform. And so by him sharing that with video with me and me posting it now on my platform, that's reaching even more people and diverse people, which I think is pretty fun.
And that's the power of inbound marketing. So the whole sort
Yeah.
of religion of inbound marketing is high quality content will bring people in. And the alternative is outbound, which is email blasting and adverts. So you could have spent like $100 a day to try and reach that audience, and you get it for free because of authentic content. And that's why it's worth doing.
Yeah. I agree. That authentic content so important, and the value. I was talking to the gal that makes my thumbnails, and kind of like I was saying before, where I was stuck for a while, like, oh, do I need to look this way or be extra professional? And it was in those conversations where I go, well, like, what about like my background? I mean, I'm just like in my room. And she goes, "Tracy, nobody cares what you look like and what's behind you as long as you're bringing value."
Yeah,
And that's what I needed to hear. It like clicked, and I go, yeah, right. Well, I am, because people are giving me positive feedback. So great.
exactly.
I'm not
I
going to worry about primping myself up.
Exactly. I've
That'll
I've
just
got
stop
wet
me.
hair and no makeup on,
Makeup, right?
and it
Me
doesn't
too,
even
right?
enter my head. Oh, I must go put makeup on because I'm going to be because we're not fashion influencers,
That's
and
right.
I don't even want to step down that. Now I'll tell you one of the tricks I do use is when I'm doing those 15 things, I do loads of clothes changes, but that's just so that you can't date me. But that was the August one. That was
Yes, yes, yes.
you
No,
know.
I've done that. Absolutely. Yes. And that's a great tip, because, we're going to title this something that catches people's eye, that are interested in social media, that are where I'm at. And like, I know I have to do this. So that's my goal, right? Is that's who's going to be watching this. And that is a great pointer. If you say today you're time blocking because you heard what we said and you're like, I'm going to try it, and you're doing it, you're like, yes, time blocking. You have one day, you're doing recording, you're doing content. Yeah, big deal. Change your outfit 3, 4, 5 times, whatever. Put your hair up, keep it down, da da da. And then you have that content. You could post it whenever. And that's okay, because it's not about what you look like we're saying. It's about the content and the value you're bringing. But I don't want people to, to date me either. I want them to see, you
that,
know,
that green outfit was all of August. The yellow one's also like, oh, I've been doing this for years, is the general impression I'm trying to give out
totally.
now.
Or you could be like Pace Morby, who's got the same outfit, like the hoodie. I was saying to my daughter the other day, I think I just need to buy a lot more. I love to wear hoodies. I just need a lot more like sub two hoodies. And then because I'm such a firm believer, it changed my life in real estate, having the community and sub two and the education and all that, that I have no problem selling the brand, right? It's like,
Yeah,
I love it so much. So I was like, maybe, yeah, that's what I need. Just a whole bunch of sub two hoodies. Then it doesn't matter. Just that's going to be my
yeah,
uniform.
exactly. And I think you're dead right. It's a great exercise in letting go of fear of your critics, who you eventually realize the 19 people really do not, they really don't care.
Yeah, we do not care about you.
Exactly.
You're going to
The
unblock them after this, and then they're going to see this. They're going to know you were in the 19.
I know exactly. And um how this whole, oh, I gotta look like Kim Kardashian or all the other precious and women. It's amazing. You just forget about it. You just like, can't be bothered.
That's right. Yeah. I'm so inspired by you. I really appreciate I just love your authenticity. That's the one thing that I've enjoyed about watching you. And yeah. So what else do you want to share before we wrap this up? So helpful. Love the tips. I mean, you just brought so much great information. What else would you share if somebody's watching this, they're newer, they know they need to do it. Maybe they don't even know, but now they do. Um, yeah, what do you think? What's like the number one thing?
I think number one thing is find your thing, find your Mount Everest, find your thing, so that you want to be known. I want to be known as the small town revitalization woman. You know, somebody else wants to be known as the co-living, the lady who does co-living. There's been plenty of others, but that's their job to promote whatever they're doing. When you do that, then the content starts to become simpler. And then I just say start with Facebook, because it's really easy, and then see where you want to go from there, and then time block and do stuff. You know, just stop being frightened of it. And you know, people talk about their ego gets in their way. I think it's more primal than that. I think it's just fear of being criticized, and you'll find that, you know, it doesn't really happen.
Right, right. I remember I posted my first video. I was in Montana, I was paddleboarding, I had on a swimsuit. I mean, but I was just having this amazing moment, and I'm like, I want to share this. This is why I've decided to leave my W-2 and get into real estate because I wanted freedom of time. And I just did it, right? And I thought, oh no, what are people going to say? Everything was positive, not a single negative thing. And on the contrary, people were just so excited to see that that's what the shift I was having in my life and the freedom. And, everyone's like, oh, you look so happy. And, no one's like, oh, nice bathing suit or what, the things that you get up in your head. So great advice. I love that. I love it. Maybe that's
Well,
what we name forget about the 19.
yeah, exactly. Your old high school teacher, the first guy you dated, they're all like
That's right,
ringing in
right.
your head.
We're out of here. Oh my gosh. And I'm so grateful for your time. How can people find you on social media? I know they're going to want to reach out.
So Anne McNamara 007 for Insta and YouTube, and Anne McNamara something on Facebook. I think it
Oh
might be
my.
007.
We did have your Facebook up. Tell me again your Instagram. Did you say what was it?
It's Anne McNamara 007.
Oh, I love it. 007. Watch out. Oh, fantastic. All right. Well, thank you
Tracy,
again for
thank
your
you.
time.
Thank you for inviting me. I've really appreciated it. And I love spending time with you, and I love finding out what you are doing. And I love the fact that you asked such great questions that brought a whole new world of thinking into the whole sub two community. So good on
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
So
you.
appreciate that. Thank you. All right.
Brilliant.